Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episode and we have one of the motivational guests. She has her own story to share with you. She has her own point of view to share with you. And she has a lot of challenges in her life, but she tried to overcome from the situations and she is trying to fulfilling her dream. So she is Madam Chioma from Nigeria. She has her own book. So she will introduce herself with her books and with her profession. Hello, ma'am. How are you today?
I'm fine. It's afternoon here, so I'll say good afternoon, Sharif.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you please introduce yourself and your professions and your book? I'm sure that your book has very interesting story.
Okay. My name is Chioma Chigozie Okwum. I am indigenous to Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. I live and work in Nigeria too. Okay. I work in Spiritan University, Nochi. I teach in the Department of Computer Science. I'm also the director of ICT in the university. So I manage two roles. I do the teaching role, and I also do the technical thing to make sure that all the networks and all the connectivities in the university are actually working at optimal performance. So I do two things. I'm also a wife. I am married. I have three children. So my hands are actually very full. Okay. So I'm also someone's daughter and someone's sister. So you can see I have so many. I'm also people's friends. So I have a lot to do apart from the work I do. I also am a balanced person. Okay, so I had to write this book, Breaking Free, because I mentor a group of people. I have two mentorship groups. One is all for all ladies. It's all a ladies mentorship group, and then I have the one that is mixed, both male and female are in the group. So there was this day someone asked me, how did you transform from that regular lady that we knew that was just very regular to someone that cannot be ignored, like anywhere you go people just have to notice you, like what did the magic? Okay, so I tried to explain to them that I followed a three-step approach to becoming the person that I am. So in the course of the discussion, I will share the three-step approach with us in the course of the discussion. So in trying to explain these things to them, they said, "Ma'am, why don't you write this in a book so that not just us, every other person across the world can read your story and get inspired?" That was how this was happening in July. It was only in July. So I said, well, I have a problem with writing. I don't know how to economize with the truth. So if I'm gonna write anything, I have to put all the truth out there. And people are asking me to write about my life. So oh well, it's okay. So I took up the challenge in August, first week of August, and I started writing this book. It was so easy to write because it's my story. It's something that I have lived through. I wake up in the morning before the children and my husband wake up, and I said, okay, I'll do 2 hours every day. I wake up and I start writing, and I can't even stop because the story just keeps flowing. Like I keep telling the story one step back. So that was how Breaking Free came to be. Um, I think I
Yes,
think I've
yes.
answered your
Thank you.
question.
I think already your friend Malak, she said, "Thanks, my sisters. So proud of you." And she is actually very, very positive when you joins. So I think you have a very good friends and around the world. So
Yes, I
thank
do.
you. Yeah, yeah. I just want to know more about your book, as well as you told me that you have different focus in your life, but some points your family like motivate you to go to the new track and you achieve it. So can you share with all of your story, maybe from your childhood, and how things are moving and how you get your objective?
Okay. Okay. Like I told you before when we are having our pre-discussion, I was born into an academic family. My dad is a retired professor. My mom worked and retired from a research institute. She has a PhD. So growing up, all I knew around me were people carrying books around. My dad doing research. He would take us to his experimental fields to collect data. So I grew up around people doing research. I grew up around the academic life, and I grew up very close to a university. So everything around me had to do with academics. So I had this friend when we were still in primary school. We are just about 10 then. So we told ourselves that her dad too he worked in the same place with my dad. So we told ourselves that at 35 would have had our PhDs at 35, and
Mhm.
then at 45 would have become professors. Um, then we had this dream. So that was how I always knew what I wanted to be. Like from the word go, I knew I wanted to be academic. I wanted to impact my world. I wanted to read so much and write so much that people will always read, have things to read about me. So that was what I wanted to be. But you know how they say that life isn't linear. Life doesn't happen in a straight line. So when I finished university, I said, okay, it's time to go do a master's. I bought a form. Somehow along the line, I got married, and I said, what the heck? Let me
Mhm.
go see the world. Let me just explore my options. Let me just see what the world had to be. So that was how I abandoned that dream and started doing so many things. I went into merchandising. I started traveling to Dubai to buy stuff and sell. You know, I was doing pretty well. I was doing pretty well with the business. It was flying. Then there was this day my dad came and he said, is this all you actually want to be? Like sit in this shop, sell things? I'm not in any way trying to make people that sell things feel less important, but for him, he always knew what I wanted to be. And I used to blab about how I wanted to be a professor like him, how I wanted to be so great at life and all that. So my dad asked me, is this really all you want to be? Like, is this all? And a time will come when you will be the most illiterate person in my family with a Bachelor of Science. Because at that time, my younger brothers were already doing their masters and all that. My mom already had a PhD. He had a PhD. So he said, would you be happy to be the most illiterate person in the family? So for me, that was the breaking point. Like, it was my moment of self-realization. I realized that, wow, I had gone too far from the what I wanted. This was like 8 years after I had finished my Bachelor of Science. So if I had continued on my path, by that 8 years, I would have finished my PhD, right? But I hadn't even started a master's. I had admission twice, and for some flimsy reasons, I let the admissions expire because it wasn't what I want. I just wanted to see the world, right? So I went home that day. I cried. I cried a few tears, and I thought about my life, and I said, "Wow, is this can I still make it back on track?" So I had this long discussion with my husband. At the time, I was living in a town that was purely a merchant town. Okay, everything that was going on in that town was merchandising, buying and selling, and all that. So I told my husband, I just have to leave this town if I want to achieve and some of my dreams. I have to leave this town. He said, "Is that what you really want?" I said, yes. He said, it's not easy. Is that what you really want? I said, yes. Okay. You have a thriving business here. People coming to buy from you and all that. You travel to Dubai like twice in every quarter and all that. Is it you really want to leave? I said, yes, I want to leave all that. With all the money I was making and all the travels, there was still something missing. Because while in the market, if we're having a regular discussion in the market, people will tell me, you really don't belong here. You should be in the classroom. You don't belong here. There was this thing about me that I really didn't belong there, even though I was doing well. That wasn't my calling. you know so I had to pack up myself, my children. We had to pack up from the town. We changed state, changed town to a new town. Okay, so we now got into this new town, and by stroke of luck, I met a friend who helped me to get into school, right? I was so much in a hurry to cover up, for the times lost, that I had to do a PGDE, a postgraduate diploma in education, and a master's in information technology at the same time with two little children. It was crazy. Like I was always having one exam after another, one assignment. But something actually happened when I was doing my PGDE. I I was given this assignment to write. I just did it casually, like under 1 hour. I wrote the assignment and submitted. So the lecturer picked up the assignment and went through, and he said, "Who wrote this for you?" I said, "I did." He said, "Who wrote it for you?" I said, because of the way, I have this carefree, bubbly kind of person. So most people don't see me as someone that is serious. So he said, "Who wrote?" I said, "I'm the one." He said, "Okay, can you repeat what you wrote?" I said, "Fine." So he gave me the paper and I repeated. And he said, "What do you do?" I said, "I have a shop and all that." I said, "No, you don't belong there. You need to force yourself into the academic. You are a typical research material. Like you write so well. I've not seen anybody write so well." So all these had to come together to still buttress the point that I was actually not in the right track. So that was how I did my masters and so many other things. And then I registered for my professional body and all that. And then I said I was ready. I was ready to take on life of an academia. Okay, I now started searching for jobs. So, but something funny also happened from when I realized myself, my self-realization to my self-actualization. I felt I would just have a smooth sail into the new, life of teaching in the university. But it wasn't to happen because when I finished my master's, I felt with a very good result and with all the papers I've been writing, it would just be a walk in the park, like you just apply and you get the job. But it didn't happen that way. Like I I had so many turn downs, like you apply and then you're turned down. Some don't even acknowledge your application and all that. So at that point I asked myself, did I make a mistake? Did I this decision to come back to what I want to be, is it a mistake or not or not? So I told myself, well, life just has to keep going on. So I just said, fine. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So I still went on. Most of the research works I have, if you check my Google Scholar, my academia.edu, my ResearchGate, most of my research work happened within those period that I didn't have a job. Okay, because I had a lot of time. So I said, okay, let me just be doing my research and start my PhD. Maybe by stroke of luck, it will happen. And it did happen at the right time. I casually applied for this job and I went for the interview. And without stress, I got the job. And when I got the job, things just started happening like, so fast. I moved from only teaching in the classroom to becoming the director of ICT to doing so many things in the university and all that. So it just lays the credence to the fact that when you are actually on the right path and you have paid your dues, you have done your job well, your homework well, things just happen for you like as if it's in dream world. So I think that was a little background to these are some of the stories that I have in my book. So I hope I'm not exposing everything so that people can actually get thrilled when they read the book.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank
Yes, yes, yes. This is very interesting. I just want to share, like, example. I also finishing my PhD on glass ceiling factor. So this
you.
is very interesting for me, that how you overcome from your personal objective and you fulfill your family objective, like your father dreams, and this is very interesting. But yeah, when I do my PhD, when I do my research, and I take a lot of interviews from different academic peoples and other things, and I find that my focus was in academia, the glass ceiling factors in academic arena. So I find that many women has gender related things, and they have to face a lot of family related challenges, or social society related challenges or environmental challenges in the organization. Do you
Okay.
face any kind of challenges when you fulfilling your dream and you are going from one track to another track, and when you have to fulfill lot of your responsibility? You said that you have your family, you have your fathers and the mothers, as well as you are in a very responsible position.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of challenges. First of
Mhm,
all, I my research area or my focus is cybersecurity, and there are not too many women there. So let me start from the work area challenges. Okay. You work in a male dominated profession, like in my department. I'm not just the only female staff in the department. I am the only, there are both staff and students. We don't even have any female students studying in the department. It's all male. So it plays credence to the fact that this is actually a male dominated profession. Okay, so you have this challenge as a woman, like the men feel it's their thing. So we are stronger, we have better competence and all that. So as a woman, I always I put in the extra effort, because if I'm going to be noticed in this male dominated profession, I have to do something extra, not just being a regular person. So that's why you see me, I push very hard in my profession. I push extremely hard. Like I just have to be at the top. Just have to be at the zenith. Anything I have to do has just to be an A list, right? So that whenever you close your eyes and you want to say cybersecurity in Nigeria, in this place, you just have to remember Chioma Chigozie Okwum. That is just my goal, right? So
mhm,
let's come to the family setting. I'm a very hands-on mom. Like I told you, I have three sons. Their ages, they are 11, 9, and 5. So they are not very grown. So there are still things I have to do for them. I have a husband at home to look after. I have my mom, my dad, my brothers, even though they are not in the country. So I have a lot to do at home. So there are some days, that maybe I have to be at a conference. There are some days I cook till 2 a.m. in the morning.
mhm,
Okay. I
mhm,
cook till 2 a.m. in the morning. I have to cook. Maybe I have to travel for a conference for 2, 3 days. I will cook all the meals that they will eat while I'm away. You see me, I'll be up till 2 a.m. and I have to travel the next morning, maybe at 6, right? So you see me cooking, packing school clothes, making sure that school clothes are arranged, they are packed. Because there's this thing with pursuing a career. If you push your family behind for the sake of your career, there will be a point where uh, you begin to lose grip of your family. We all want to have a balanced family life, okay? So, and I wouldn't want my husband to feel, because he's allowing me to pursue my dreams and become the best version of myself, I wouldn't want him to get the impression that I am neglecting any of my duties. So it puts a lot of pressure and challenges on me, because I have to balance everything. Sometimes I have to cook into long hours in the night. I have to clean. Sometimes I will sleep and I'll wake up in the night like 3 a.m. and I'll start cleaning, because I'm too tired from yesterday's work to have cleaned when I got back. So I'll wake up in the night, sometimes 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I'm cleaning and I'm doing some things, to balance these equations so that everybody feels happy, because at the end of the day, we need the family to give us the peace of mind to go out there to conquer the world. So if you want to conquer the world, you have to conquer your family first. You have to win at home, right? Because if you're not winning at home and you want to win out there, something just has to keep drawing you back. So these are some
mhm,
of the challenges I face. It's not, it hasn't been easy, but like I tell myself, success is not an easy road to walk. And since I have chosen to walk this path of ultimate self attainment, like I have to put so much pressure on myself. But I also find time to rest
mhm,
and yeah, and play around. I
mhm,
I one thing that helps me is that I'm very good at multitasking.
mhm, mhm. This is
I'm very
very important
Yes,
right now, multitasking.
yes,
Even like even my wife has to do multitasking. No choice, law, study, and official works, homeworks. Actually, yes, women actually do lot of contributions.
Yes,
Even from my mothers, from my wife, everyone, we find that they are actually do lot of contributions, and we have to recognize their work. We have to
yes.
recognize their work. Beside that, I want to know that how is your relation with your students? Because as you are in academic position, the students and teacher relationship is very important. How they are, what the environment. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I have this very wonderful relationship with my students, because first of all, I see them like my children first. So I see them like my children before I look at them as my students. So because I look at them like my children, I want them to succeed.
Mhm.
So it's not just all about the classroom and all that. Like when I come to class, there's this boy in my 200 level class, whenever he has this bubbly, he's always in front answering questions. So when I come to class and he's not that his normal self, the first thing I'll do is I'll have to ask him, how do you, how are you feeling today? What's going on? You know, it gives, I always try to check up on them, what's going on at home, what's going on with you, your personal life and all that. Like they all have my number. I have their most of their numbers saved. So sometimes I even read through their WhatsApp status, and then when they post some things that are not too, maybe they are feeling down. Now sometimes if I have the time, I'll have to ask them, what's going on in your life? Are you fine? Are you good? And then I have a very wonderful relationship with my students, and I understand that the environment where we went to school, the most of our teachers didn't feel the students, should be treated like, the way we treat our students now, right? So my students are actually my friends. They are my friends first of all, and then they are my children before they are my students. So that makes them, most of them work extra hard, not because they want to work hard, but because of the way I relate with them. They don't want to fail me, right?
Mhm.
They want to be successful. They say, ma, don't worry, I will make you proud. They always say that, ma, don't worry, I'll make you proud. There's this
Mhm.
boy in my class. There's this boy in my class. When he came to the university newly in 100 level, he wasn't very good at. He wasn't very fluent with his English. You know, he wasn't very good with his studies. But I kept
Mhm.
encouraging him. Like, I was so amazed when we were marking the last semester scripts, that if this boy had to put a little effort, he might actually make a first class, because how good he has become. He told me, ma, I will surprise you. You have so much faith that I can do well, and I want to prove it to you that I can do well. So that's just me. I feel that if you treat your students better, if you have a better relationship with them, you make them feel that they are also partners in the learning process. That is something that is missing in most of our schools here. We don't understand that students are actually key. They're actually the first people in the learning process. We that are teachers, our job, if there are no students in the school, we won't have any job to come to. So that is why I make them feel that they are very important in the process. And I try to make them feel as comfortable as they can while the learning process is going on, right? Okay, so that it makes them like, I had a presentation with my students on we had a presentation and we streamed it live on Facebook. So there was this boy, he's not one of the best students that you want to have. At the end of the presentation, the boy said that the student in him is so hungry, like he wants to do more. I try to look for ways of making the students feel very comfortable and in the learning process, so that they will put in the best effort that they can and be the best that, because if you look back and you have your students doing so well, I'm sure whoever taught you in your undergraduate, Sharif, must be so proud of the work you do right now, right? So if you look back and you see your students, doing so well, there's this fulfillment that comes with it as a teacher, right?
Mhm.
You feel
Mhm.
so happy that your work is done. So that is
Mhm.
how I relate with my students. We have a very good relationship, very cordial,
Yes,
I would say.
yes, yeah, that's great. Actually, I am a big fan of academia, even though I do work lot of work in industry. I have a
Okay.
strong engagement with industry, but I love to learn like what's going on in Nigerian education system, because you are taking responsibility of that. So what's going on in Malaysia, the Nigerian education system, and how it works? Like, can you explain the real situation of Nigerian education system?
Okay. The system of education in Nigeria, like I said, is not the best. Is not at its best. Neither is it at its worst. Okay, we are a work in progress. You know, most times when I go for meetings at the NUC, the NUC is the Nigerian Universities Commission. That is the apex body that regulates university education in Nigeria. Most times when I attend meetings and events there, you find out that the government actually has a lot of goodwill, a lot of goodwill towards the system. There are so many beautiful policies, there are so many beautiful frameworks, there are so many beautiful plans, even implementation, right? The government, they may not be doing their best, but they are trying. But then there is, I don't know where the sabotage is actually coming from, right? So the system is not at its best, like I said before. Neither is it at its worst. We are doing our best, right? There is actually a disconnect between the quality of graduates that are required for industry, and the quality that are being graduated, right? There is a huge gap. There is a huge skills gap. And this, I know, if we look deep down, we find that it boils down to the curriculum. Most of our curriculums are not at their best. We can do better with our curriculum delivery approach. Okay,
Mhm.
this is 2020, where if you want your students to do better, you don't the whole one-way traffic thing is not it doesn't work anymore, where a teacher prepares a note, comes to class, recites or talks about it, and you go. If we can engage, if we I think if we engage the students more, engage them more in research, they can actually try to find problems and try to fix these problems. So our problem lies first of all in our curriculum. Most of our curriculum are outdated. You find some universities still teaching Q basic, like in my field in computer science. Some universities are still teaching Q basic, Pascal. These are rudimentary programming languages that is where we started, but that is not where the world is now. So you find a situation whereby a student will graduate and he doesn't have an idea of what to do, with the job roles that he has. So you find people now going to enroll in all these skills acquisition centers, all these small, small 2 months program, 3 months program to acquire the real skills that they need, things that they should have gotten for spending 4 years in the university. So our curriculum is our problem, our delivery approach is our problem, and then I think corruption too has a role to play, because I visited a school one time when we were doing jam work, and then they had a lot of infrastructure, like they had a lot of uh, whiteboards and so many ICT equipments locked up in a room, right? And I'm asking, he said, the guy there said that they don't want to use them for now. They only use it during accreditation. And I'm wondering, why would you keep these things and only use them during accreditation? What? So, does it even make any sense? Like when the regulatory agencies are coming, you set all these things up and you make it look like you guys are actually doing these things. So these are some of the things that are making our system look like making our system not work, not look like most our system is not working. Yeah, because you see most of our Nigerians, they study here and they don't make very good grades because of the system of education here. But when they go abroad, you see them making first class, being the best graduating students, and you begin to wonder: is it not just isn't it the same person that was barely trying to uh, you know graduate here? You find people in a class, you have about 2,000 students in a small class. There is no public address system. So if you go to this side of the government, they will say we have deployed. You and then you go to the side of the school, they say no, the government has not deployed. So where is the problem actually coming from? So there are so many issues that are plaguing our education system. Like I said, first of all, our curriculum has an issue, delivery approach has an issue, and then corruption has a huge role that is playing. But aside that, we are doing our best. We are trying to do our best, that we can with our constraints, with our challenges. We are still trying to do our best. There's still good work that we do in Nigeria, our
Mhm,
best, our challenges, our constraints. So, but
mhm,
I know things are actually going to get better with
mhm.
time.
Yes, this is very interesting discussions. Besides that, I want to know at present pandemic situations, how your educational system actually running. Like you are using online education system, or how your university and everything running right now.
Okay, this question I'll answer it on two fronts.
Mhm,
First, as a student, because I'm actually supposed to have been rounding up my PhD in a government-owned university, right?
mhm, mhm,
So, secondly, as a staff working in a private university. So,
mhm,
I'm going to come from two perspectives. So, with the current pandemic, you know, um, stalling everything, forcing us to leave school and all that, the government universities in Nigeria are actually shut down. Nothing is going on. First of all, the academic union are on strike, and then they are saying we cannot do online learning. There are no infrastructures. There are no this. There are no that. The government is not doing their parts. Lecturers are saying we are not paid well and all that. So, on the part of every student studying in a government university, for the 6 months that this pandemic has been raging, we are at home, like nothing is going on. But on with most private owned universities, like where I work, we are doing online learning.
mhm,
Okay, we are doing online learning. We are using Google Classroom. We are doing a lot of integration. Google Classroom. We are using WhatsApp. We are using Telegram. Whatever works for us, right? So, and we even wrote an exam online in my university, and it actually worked out fine. The students were satisfied. We were satisfied on our own part. So, the challenge we have in Nigeria with broadband connectivity, we don't have steady electricity, and so many other issues with our infrastructure and our support system. But we decided not to dwell on our shortcomings. So we are actually living above our shortcomings. So most private universities are actually running, right? We are doing our meetings online. We are doing our lectures. We are doing our exams as much as we can. So that is the state of things in Nigeria now. That most people in public institutions, like myself, I'm a student in the public institution. We're at home. Nothing has happened. I was supposed to do my defense before the pandemic, and nothing has happened. So when I come online and I see people doing their defense, in schools abroad, defending online, I feel so sorry for myself and so bad, But there's nothing anybody can do about it, because the government and the academic unions, they're actually on each other's truth, and then the students just have to suffer for it. But the universities that are run by private enterprises are actually, most of them are actually on now,
mhm,
doing one kind of online learning or another, which my university, the Spiritan University in Nochi, we actually we are actually leveraging on the technology to keep our students active within this pandemic period.
Yes, thank you. There are few audience response. I'm just taking question from audience. Mohammed
Okay.
Shoail Rana, he said, enjoying the discussion. How many employment opportunities are being created in the ICT sector in Nigeria? Second, Humaira Tanzila, she said, hello ma'am, thank you for your time in this session. What is your opinion regarding homeschooling for children? So two sectors. One question is for advanced sectors, like how many job opportunities and employment opportunity actually created in the ICT departments. On the other hand, Humara want to know, like, what is your opinion regarding the homeschooling and these things? Yeah.
Okay. So, with regards to the ICT sector in Nigeria, there are a lot of jobs, right? There are a lot of jobs that are created, but they are not traditional job roles like you want to get a white collar job of opportunities, in the ICT sector. There are so many things that are going on that one can actually create job opportunities from. Like we are beginning to adopt e-commerce
Mhm.
in Nigeria more now, unlike before. So we are beginning to adopt e-commerce, e-learning, and so many other things. So there are actually a lot of job opportunities for people that are skilled in programming. If you are skilled in programming, there are a lot of job roles for you. If you have skills in digital marketing, because so many people are moving their businesses online. Content creation is also a very is also an area where a lot of job creation are actually going on. And then you know the thing with Nigeria and being notorious for cyber crime, cyber issues, and all that. So people that have skills in cyber security are also there are so many job roles that are created in this path. We are looking for people that can create that can do vulnerability testing, ethical hackers, intrusion people that can build intrusion detection systems and all that. There are so many jobs on that part. So there are so many job opportunities in Nigeria, but you first of all you have to have a different mindset. Okay, it's not the traditional job roles that are going to be created for you to plug in. You have to be the ones to think and come up with these job roles, and then you have to build yourself to be able to fit in with this IT based job role, because it has to be top notch. You
Mhm.
actually have to have the skill to be able to achieve that. Okay, so to the next question, the idea of homeschooling. During this COVID-19 lockdown, I actually had to homeschool three of my children. You know, it's not something that is easy. Okay, both for the children, for the parents, and all that. In Nigeria, I'm going to use our own situation to explain how difficult it is to homeschool children. First of all, we don't have power. Okay, and these ICT gadgets that we use for homeschooling, the laptop, the tablets, they run on power, right? So I actually have to put on my generator, to power all these equipments, and then you have to buy data. That's the internet connectivity for so much. Sometimes you have at the middle of a class session, they inform you that your subscription has expired. So it's actually so challenging, based on we don't have infrastructure, but we actually had to do it because the children have to keep learning. And then you have to be the one to make them to pay attention with you have children like my 5-year old. He will listen for 2 seconds, and then he say he wants to go and pee, he wants to go and drink water, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. And you have to be the ones to run around the house with them, make them to do the assignments, make them to listen. You have to upload the assignments. It's not something that is very easy. But then if you look at its gain, it keeps the children busy, because if the brain were to be idle, for this whole 6 months. By the time school opens, we might need to go back to ABC classes, and all that. So it's something that is not easy, both for the parents, for the teachers, for the children, but it is necessary because we have to keep learning going. Yeah, so that's my view with regards to e-learning and online learning and homeschooling for children. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, as you are very inspirational story that you are breaking the dots and you are trying to make something positive for your society. My question is that, like example, mm, what's the woman empowerment situation in Nigeria, how it works, and most important thing is that I want to know detail, like example, how actually your culture, your society, your family support women for their employment, for their higher education, or for their like improvement of career. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, we live in Nigeria, in Africa, where it is a patriarchal society. Like it's a it's a man's world here, over here, right? So we still live in a society where we believe that the woman's role should be at home, in the kitchen, and in the other room, like they always say, right? So we still see people that, most times they say, you go to an establishment and they tell you that we are gender sensitive, we like, we are gender sensitive, we give roles to women and all that. But most of those things are actually cheap talk, because when the chips are down, you find out that there is a lot of segregation when it comes to do with women, giving them chances, and then our society does not make it any easier. You see a woman that is trying to work hard, that is trying to be the best person that she wants to be, and then people are constantly trying to remind you that you are you are forgetting one thing, that you are a woman, and your role is actually supposed to be at home. Why are you here? Why are you here? Who is at home? People actually, you're even shocked that even some people that you think they are very enlightened will be asking you, you are here. Who is at home with your children? Like you are a fool not to have, organized your home first before coming to work or coming to do anything. So our society is not very friendly with women taking up challenge. We are still very stereotyped with roles. We are still battling with stereotypes in role job roles and all that. There are still work we consider to be male. Like most people that I know that read engineering, that are that are ladies, you find them, they actually do very well, in exams and their interviews, and then when they come, they say, we can't give you this job, because you are a woman. But she you have not even tried out the lady to find out if she can do well at the job or not. Okay, because there is this mindset that these are things that a man should do, these are things that a woman should do. So we have so many NGOs that I said they are empowering women, but most of those things are actually cheap talk. Because even at the end of the day, you found that there are very few ladies who are actually trying to push hard. And I tell people that when you're a woman and you're trying to push hard, you actually have to be very, very thick skinned, because you'll be criticized by your family, you'll be criticized by friends, you'll be criticized by people. They have a lot of things to say about you. Why she's here is because she's this, she's that, she's that. But for myself, I understand that my family is very, very supportive, but there are so many women that want to be better, but they cannot because they don't have that family support that I have. So there are actually a lot that can be done with regards to gender, as in improving gender roles for women, allowing women to be the best that they want to be, irrespective of whether you are a male or you are female. So in Nigeria, we are still suffering a lot of emasculation because we are women, and all that. But we are not letting all that to stop us. We are pushing hard. We are pushing
Yes,
strong.
yes. No, definitely, definitely. I understand that every woman, when they're taking all of the responsibility, family responsibilities, academic and the professional responsibilities, and the social responsibility, it's actually very, very, very challenging. Besides that,
It
I
is.
want to know, like example, uh, um, I want to know more, like as Nigeria and Africa has different kind of challenges and everything, then you have a very good global connections around the world. So how you get support, how you work with the global community, how actually global community help to solve these kind of problems, how it works.
Okay. We have so many challenges in Africa, and in Nigeria, to be precise. Most of our problems come from us, right? We actually, most of our problems, with our poor leadership, with our, we actually don't want to push ourselves beyond a certain limit. Okay, so we actually would want to get a lot of help from the outside, external people from other countries, and all that. But the challenge we have is that most agencies, the donor agencies, they are very skeptical when it comes to helping people in Nigeria, because they are very scared of being defrauded, or the money being diverted, or the money being siphoned and not used for the particular cause. Okay, so I have a lot of friends. I've been making a lot of friends lately, globally, and actually have a lot of plans in place. First of all, I want to fight my gender battle first before we start solving the huge problems of the world. So, because they said if you save a woman, you have saved the nation. Okay, so most of the plans and collaborations that I have with some of my foreign contacts is in a way of empowering women, right? Women empowerment, giving them the required skills they need to have, they require the exposure they need to have, training the mind, right? I believe that if you train the mind, then other parts of the body will begin to align. Okay. So I'm actually working on so many things with Malak, my friend Malak, with Dr. Sarita, with Taft. I'm actually trying to work out so many things with them with regards to women empowerment, and then looking at how to train our young people to learn how to explore alternative work channels, multitasking. That is something that is lacking so much in Nigeria. You just take one job, 8 to 5, and then you go home, and then the rest of your time you spend it on your phone. So we are trying to look at ways to awaken our youth to learn how to take alternative jobs, to multitask, and then to become the best. So these are some of the things that I have working on the pipeline with my friends outside Nigeria. So hopefully, as the time unfolds, most of these things will begin to materialize, and then we'll begin to see some positive impact and the results.
Yes, thank you. I think today you also get to many of your international friends, so they are also asking you many questions today.
Thank
So
you.
yes, Sobha Sharma, she said, "I'm enjoying your talk," and she asked you a question: woman empowerment and politics. What's your take on this? Like, she may ask you what part you want to take, like women empowerment and or politics. Okay. Second, there is a question Hosne Arafet, though she asks you, as a woman, do you think there are many opportunities for women to work in the ICT sector in Nigeria? Like how actually women can work in the ICT sectors? Noor Fazreen from Malaysia, she asks you, hello ma'am, nice to see you here. How women can overcome the family challenges, which is the unfavorable for her development?
Okay, so I will start with the first question with women empowerment and politics. Okay, I don't know if I am so much of a political person. I don't know, because sometimes you might not know what you have inside until you are challenged, or you are put in that kind of situation. So I don't know if I'm so much of a political person, but I am much of an advocate, right? An activist or a voice. Okay, so we have a lot of in Nigeria. We have a lot of women who are pushing in the uh, political sector. Even though the men are actually trying to box them out, they are not relenting. We have a lot of Amazons that are pushing in the Nigerian political sector, but most of our efforts should go first to women empowerment first, because for you to be successful in politics, you have to be empowered in your mind, empowered in your finances, and all that. So if we take the route of empowering more women, first of all, liberating their minds, making them understand that it's not just that you are a woman doesn't have to limit you to anything. You can actually win on all fronts if you try, right? If you can push the woman, the empowerment story to the women, empower their minds, liberate their minds, get them to start working at something. That you have a pretty face and all that. It's not all you need to have, right? You need to work at something, be known at for something. As a woman, you need to be known for something. By the time you would have lived here and you die, or you're no longer alive, the world should be able to remember you for something, not just because you have a pretty face or you had an amazing body's structure and all that. So we need to teach this lesson to more women. So for me, politics, empowerment, I'll choose empowerment over politics. Politics can always come later, but for now, let's do the empowerment. Let's get more women to be empowered, so that if they want to do politics, then they are strong enough to face, because politics actually is not easy. For a woman, it's not easy. So for you to be there, you have to be empowered first. So if we need all the help we can get over here, like we're actually drowning, so all the help we can get, we need it. So let's empower as many women as we can, and then let's move from there. The next question,
Is about how, like example, women actually get a job opportunity in ICT sector in
yes, yes.
Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of opportunities, and even though at there are some times that they might discriminate because you are male or female, but one thing I have noticed with women who are in IT in Nigeria is that we are unstoppable, right? All the women I've known, I've met that are in IT in Nigeria, you cannot but notice us. We are so unstoppable. We have, because we always want to give the best. So there are so many job opportunities, and the few of us who are bold enough to walk this path, we're actually filling as much of roles as we can. But there are a very few of us who are taking the risk to venture into the IT world. So it's a way to encourage more girls. There's this thing I've been planning to launch, an advocacy program that I will take to primary and secondary schools to encourage more girls to go into IT. Okay, is there is nothing to be scared about. There's nothing to be scared about. Some people are so scared that computing is all about mathematics and all that. I want to start encouraging young girls to go in, because you cannot have a class of 100, for example, and then you have just 4 girls in that class. It's not very cool. And we are very good at whatever we want to do. So it's a way of encouraging. There are so many job roles, right? So, and the few of them are being filled by the very few ladies who are actually brave enough to take on jobs in IT. And then someone asked a question about how we can overcome the family pressures, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. I always tell my friends and my mentees, I always tell them that if you are a woman and you want to be successful on all fronts, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. I told you before that there are some days that I cook into the night because I want to be at that meeting the next day. And I know that I wouldn't want to be there and start thinking that my children don't have food to eat, my husband doesn't have food to eat and all that. So you have to make a lot of huge sacrifices, and then you have to learn how to teach your family members to do the things that they can do for themselves. Okay, my children, they know how to clean after themselves, because if I have to do all the cleaning and all the cooking all the time, I won't have time to face my work. So they have learned how to clean after themselves. And my husband is also very supportive. There are some, like, 2 or 3 days ago, I was so exhausted. I had to do so many things. And then while I was trying to reply some emails, I think I slept off with my laptop on the bed. So I noticed in the morning, when as I woke up in the morning, he had packed up everything, put them on order. So it's sometimes when I'm exhausted, he picks up after me. We need to have this honest discussion with our partners, with our spouses, that this is actually what I want to be, okay, and I need all the help I can get, right? You
Mhm.
can't do it alone. I tell women, if you want to be the ideal perfect wife, do all the chores at home, do all the market runs, and still want to be successful in your career, you will break down at some point. So there has to be this honest discussion between you, your children, your spouse, and the members of your household, for everyone to take up at least one responsibility. Even my 5-year old, there are some little things that he does. Like, he has to carry his plate to the sink. He has learned how to wash his own hands. He has learned how to do some things for himself. So this leaves me some space to face some other things that I have to do. So there has to be support from the family. Your family has to they have to make sacrifices too. There are some days that you come back and you are evidently exhausted. It wouldn't be the best day for the member of the family to start requesting for a fresh meal. You can do with whatever is in the freezer, right? So these are some of the ways that, first of all, I've taught my children to do things for themselves, so that I get some time for myself too, to pay attention to my work, and then to also balance some other things. Because if you want to do it alone, it's going to be like fighting a battle all alone. So, and you can never win that battle. That is just the
Yes.
honest. Yes.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Sobha Sharma, she said, "Wow, thank you, loved your answer." So I think everybody actually motivated. I think Noor Fazreen, Firdaus, even Humaira Tanzila, Malak. Yes, also you have a male response, Mohammad Shoel Rana. Everybody actually happy to get your stories, and it's really really encouraging, and we can understand the real scenario of Nigeria. Nigeria has a good story. Nigeria has a good people. Nigeria has a
Yes.
talent people like you, and World
Yes.
Talent Economy Forum always we are trying to invite talent people like you, as well as we have our research organization, Asia Research and Development Institute, and we have our academy, Al Noor Academy, and we are trying to collaborate around the world to make some good impact. So with your research skills, with your academic skill, as well as your industrial skills and knowledge, if you share with us, if we can work together, and we can make better environment together.
Yeah.
So beside that, about your books, what will be the concluding remarks about your books, and what you want to say about this World Talent Economy Forum? Yeah.
Okay. The thing, the bottom line of my book is that every dream you have is valid, right? Every dream is valid, but you actually need to work to bring your dreams to life. So if you read through my book, I first of all, I outlined a 3-stepped approach, which helped me to actualize my ultimate self. I went through my self realization stage, to my self actualization stage, to my self optimization stage, before I now came, I now brought my ultimate self to life. And then that ultimate self is the self that cannot be ignored. Even when you want to hide in a crowd, you'll always be noticed. So I would encourage everybody to try get a copy of the book. It's actually available on Amazon, both the e-copy and the paperback copy. They are all available on Amazon. Breaking Free: My Ultimate Self Attainment Journey by Chioma Chigozie Okwum. So you can actually get a copy of that book, and you read my story, and I'm sure you will see yourself through some of the struggles that I had to go through to become who I am today. And then my remark on World Talent Economy Forum. actually noticed this platform where you interviewed Dr. Sarita, and I was like, wow, this just has to be the it. And I was just, imagining at what point in my life would I be so privileged to be interviewed by this talent economist and all that. And then you reached out to me, and I was like, I was so excited. Like, I have to come and tell my story on this platform. You are doing a lot of good work. I follow this page, and I actually get a lot of insights and content when I listen to, because you talk to diverse people. It's not it's
Yes.
not very it's not a one track thing. Today you are talking to novelists, tomorrow you are talking to scientists, next tomorrow you are talking to I get a lot of value from this platform, and each time I get notification that World Talent Economy Forum is live, I always have to click and watch. Sometimes if I don't meet it live, I go watch the videos later, because I must learn something from each person you interview, and you actually try doing your best to move across the world, like to get us connected to people who are working across the world to make the world a better place. So this is actually a very good platform, and I'm so grateful to be on this platform today, and I wish you the best in your work, believing that you're actually going to do a lot more exploits with this and other platforms that you're actually working with.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you for your nice compliment. Already, your another friend, Dr. Sharita Sharma, she said we wrote for you and for your book. So everybody actually very happy you are joining in World Talent Economy Forums. And yes, World Talent Economy Forum always respect talent people like you, and we always want to invite the talent people, those who are really really interested to join with us. You can email us, president wtforum@gmail.com, as well as we have our page. In this page you can text us, you can email us, and definitely we're going to invite. And definitely today's guest, you are very very positive, very motivational for our audience. We
Thank
get
you.
a very good impact and response from different peoples from around the world. So hopefully in the futures, with our group discussion, I gonna invite you, and we will learn lot of interesting things from your book and from your life, and especially many women actually get inspired by your story. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay, bye
Yeah.
bye. Bye
Bye.
bye. Yes.